Rose Basketball Club is the first Unrivaled champion.
Angel Reese just pulled off the ultimate flex, winning a championship. But let's be honest, was the competition even close? While she celebrated trophy in hand, the WNBA's ratings continued to struggle. Did people actually tune in, or was it just another overlooked moment in women's basketball? Some fans hail her as the future of the sport, the one who can take the league to new heights. But despite her dominance on the court, the WNBA is still searching for mainstream relevance. So, the big question remains, how can Angel Reese be at the top of her game, yet still fall short where it truly matters? Hey sista, I'm doing great. Just won $50,000 on a flight. I know you're aware of it, but I'm on a rookie contract, and that $50,000 is more than half of my earnings. I just have to keep this to myself for the time being.
Rivaled ratings video. The playoffs are finished. The championship game has concluded. The numbers are in. After debuting with 313,000 viewers, Games 1, Games 2 on opening night, after having ratings for the 1v1 tournament, semifinals, and final, averaging 377,000 viewers, the Unrivaled championship game ratings comes in at a staggering 260,000 views.
Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky have just made history, securing the first ever Unrivaled championship, an extraordinary feat. Or is it? Some are acting like she just solved world hunger, when in reality the competition wasn't exactly fierce. Let's be honest, this achievement belongs right alongside participation trophies and showing up to work on time. But hey, let's all bow down to the self-proclaimed queen of dominance. Sure, it's a moment worth acknowledging, but maybe, just maybe, we should take a step back and ask, how significant is this really?
The Rose just made history and just became 50K richer, you feel me? Because they just won the Unrivaled League first ever championship, man. I ain't gonna hold y'all. If y'all missed this Unrivaled season, yo, you missed one hell of a good one and a competitive one. And shout out to Chelsea Gray, yo, for winning the Finals MVP.
In a universe where awards are handed out like Oprah giveaways, it was only a matter of time before Angel Reese claimed the Defensive Player of the Year title. Defensive excellence? Well, if we're counting dramatic arm flails, exaggerated hustle, and intense facial expressions after every routine rebound, then sure, she's elite. But let's not question it. The stats tell us she's a defensive powerhouse, and when have stats ever been misleading? Never, of course. Especially when backed by one of the most relentless PR campaigns determined to convince the world that she's the second coming of Dennis Rodman. The media machine is in full force, making sure we all fall in line and recognize this historic achievement. But let's be real, this isn't just about skill and heart. It's almost as if the universe itself decided that in today's game, everyone needs a trophy, and Angel Reese is simply reaping the rewards of the participation era.
Today, as we stand, one Angel Reese has been named the Defensive Player of the Year. Stab us all right in the eye hole, right? Oh my goodness. Oh, her fans, they're trying to take victory laps today over this, except a lot of people, a lot of hoops fans, real basketball fans are calling this for what it is. It's a sham. I mean, let's be honest, right?
Let's take a moment to really break down this so-called Unrivaled League. Unrivaled? Absolutely, but only in the sense that there's no actual competition to rival it. What's the real flex here? Dominating a tournament where half the biggest names didn't even show up? That's like walking into an empty gym, casually sinking a layup, and then throwing your arms up like you just won Game 7 of the NBA Finals. But hey, when you're trying to build a personal brand, you take whatever victories you can get, manufactured or not. And so, here we are, watching a hyped-up title celebration that feels about as earned as a Hollywood nepotism baby landing their first blockbuster role without ever attending an audition. The confetti is falling, the media is spinning the narrative, and the PR machine is running at full speed, convincing everyone this is a historic moment. But strip away the smoke and mirrors, and what are we left with? A spectacle disguised as an achievement, a performance masquerading as greatness, just without the level of competition or legitimacy to make it truly meaningful.
All season long. But I want every person in here, from the players to the coaches, to the fans, to the media, to really take a second to soak in this moment. This is history.
And then, of course, there's the Defensive Player of the Year award, a true testament to grit, tenacity, and sheer determination. Or maybe, just maybe, it's more about relentless arm flailing, aggressive swipes at the ball, and those signature death stares that make it seem like every opponent just personally shortchanged her. But don't you dare question the legitimacy of this honor. If you so much as suggest that there might be more deserving candidates, brace yourself for immediate backlash. You'll be labeled a hater, a cynic, or perhaps the worst insult of all, someone who simply doesn't respect women's basketball. Because in today's world, merely asking for a little perspective on greatness isn't analysis, it's blasphemy.
They lost to Lunar House comfortably. Beat the Laces in a close one. They went and they lost to the Mist. The Mist were trying towards the end. They beat the Phantom. In a lot of close games, they played really well. And they played really, really well after the break.
Let's take a moment to appreciate the real magic trick at play here. The ability to transform routine basketball achievements into headline-making moments of supposed greatness. The sheer determination to craft a legend in real time is nothing short of remarkable. Every block, every rebound, every flex of strength isn't just a play. It's a legacy-defining moment, meticulously dissected, analyzed, and often exaggerated to fit the narrative. Meanwhile, actual all-time greats continue to go about their business with quiet dominance, letting their game speak for itself without needing a media circus to amplify every step they take onto the court. But in an era where hype often outweighs substance, the real question is, are we celebrating true greatness or just the loudest storyline? With that in mind, brace yourself for the next wave of over-the-top celebrations. A championship parade? That's just the beginning. Maybe a statue in her honor. Or, better yet, let's go all in and rename the entire city of Chicago. Why not? At the rate this hype train is barreling forward, it wouldn't be shocking if someone started declaring her the greatest athlete of all time. Because hey, if we're handing out accolades just for showing up, why stop now? Maybe we should put in a call to the Hall of Fame and fast-track the process. No need to wait. After all, it seems we're all just passengers in Angel Reese's world, whether we bought a ticket for the ride or not.
And honestly, man, I don't know how they even decided the Defensive Player of the Year, because I had a few players that I had in mind that could have won this award. But to say that Angel Reese wasn't playing good defense and didn't deserve this award, that would be a lie, man, because throughout the season, she had moments where not only did she lock up the best bigs or play great defense on the best bigs, she also stole the ball from some of the best ball handlers.
And then, right on cue, Angel Reese's wrist seemingly reached its breaking point, tapping out just as her team was locking in a victory without her. You seriously can't make this up. While she took time to nurse the same wrist that had already undergone surgery, Rose BC stepped in and handled business like it was just another day at the office. No drama, no theatrics, no need for the spotlight, just pure, straightforward basketball. Funny how that works, isn't it? Let's be honest, if Angel had been on the court, the game likely would have morphed into yet another episode of The Angel Reese Show, where actual basketball takes a back seat to exaggerated reactions, questionable shot selections, and over-the-top celebrations. But instead, without her, something unexpected happened. The team thrived. They passed, they defended, they played smart, and most importantly, they won. All of this while their so-called superstar sat courtside in street clothes, perhaps already brainstorming her next round of inspirational, yet entirely unnecessary social media posts. Funny how things work out, isn't it? But don't worry, she'll surely make a grand return soon, probably armed with a new injury excuse or a dramatic conspiracy theory about how the universe is somehow plotting against her. Maybe it's the refs, maybe it's the haters, or maybe it's just bad luck. Meanwhile, her team keeps doing the unthinkable, winning games and proving they can thrive just fine without her. Tough break indeed, literally.
That's got to be the first thing. And by the way, we're doing victory laps today. Angel Reese fans are celebrating a championship that she didn't even take part in the playoffs for. Are you serious right now? I would argue the team got better and won it because she didn't play. This should be frightening to Chicago Sky fans.
The ratings are in, and the so-called Unrivaled league is struggling, about as appealing as a soggy bowl of cereal left out overnight. The stands are empty, the viewership has all but disappeared, and yet here's Angel Reese, front and center, talking like she's the undisputed star of the show. You'd think she just won MVP of social media engagement, that is. Instead of channeling her energy into elevating her game, she's opted for a different approach, turning every match into her own personal soap opera, where theatrics matter more than actual basketball. And somehow, we're all supposed to pretend this is greatness in the making. It's truly astonishing how Angel Reese has mastered the art of delivering minimal effort on the court, while somehow maximizing her presence everywhere else. Meanwhile, the league itself is practically begging for attention, rolling out promotions like their free samples at a grocery store, yet the response remains lukewarm at best. Viewership is dwindling, the hype is fading, and yet somehow she remains the loudest voice in the room, thriving in the chaos while everything around her crumbles. And when the inevitable criticism rolls in, well, we already know the playbook. Blame the referees, blame the haters, or maybe even blame the universe for conspiring against her. After all, accountability isn't nearly as fun as crafting the perfect excuse. Or perhaps, just perhaps, people are finally waking up to the harsh reality that making noise doesn't equate to true greatness. The endless self-promotion, the non-stop headlines, the social media theatrics, it's all smoke and mirrors, desperately trying to distract from the league's real problem, a dwindling audience and a lack of genuine excitement for the product on the court. The stark contrast between her constant chatter and the league's struggling relevance only highlights a deeper disconnect, raising serious questions about where the priorities truly lie. Is it about building the game or just building a brand?
Here's the caveat, folks. TNT, they come out with their own graphic. And their own graphic boasts of a 364,000 average viewer for the finals. 385,000 peak viewership for the Unrivaled finals. We'll touch on those other numbers later. But up 99% from the regular season, 364,000 average. Folks, if we look at the Unrivaled playoffs, Laces versus Rose, that was broken down to both TNT ratings and True TV ratings. Yet for the championship game, somewhere in transition, somewhere along the pecking order, I guess the True TV ratings got lost.
Oh, what a time to be alive. The so-called Unrivaled League has finally wrapped up, and, shockingly, no one cared. Who could have possibly predicted that slapping a flashy name on a product and declaring it a game changer wouldn't magically create interest. Turns out, hype alone doesn't fill seats or boost ratings. The numbers have plummeted, enthusiasm has vanished, and somewhere in a boardroom, a group of executives is probably sitting in stunned silence, desperately trying to figure out how their groundbreaking idea flopped harder than a low-budget reality show canceled after one season. But hey, at least they tried, right? But don't worry. While the league struggles to keep even a handful of viewers engaged, Angel Reese is still making waves, talking as if she single-handedly won a championship through sheer volume alone. This is the same Angel Reese who wasn't even in the MVP conversation. Yet somehow, she's always front and center when it's time to stir the pot. Instead of using this moment to reflect, regroup, or maybe even let the dust settle, she took a different approach, logging on to remind the world that she is the real headline, even as the actual sport fades into the background. It's almost surreal, the sound of one player's voice drowning out the deafening silence of an entire league's decline. A true spectacle, just not the one basketball needs.
Folks, it's over. Or it's close to it. If it's not over, it's close to it. I'm at that point where I think we are at a point of no return. I think we have hit a level where there are problems and they are starting to punch you right in the face. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the Unrivaled television ratings from Friday night, their best night, and they are bad. They just keep getting worse.
The funniest part? It's not even like Angel Reese was dominating on the court to justify all this extra energy. There are no record-breaking performances, no jaw-dropping highlights, just a whole lot of vibes. Her impact is measured not in stats, but in sound bites, with the occasional tweet sending ESPN analysts into a frenzy. Because let's be honest, they'd much rather dissect the latest drama than acknowledge the uncomfortable truth. The league is practically playing to empty arenas, and the hype isn't translating into actual viewership. But hey, at least the headlines are entertaining. In a way, it's almost impressive. The league desperately needed someone to sell the product, energize the fan base, and reignite interest. But instead of elevating the actual game, we got a masterclass in staying relevant for everything but basketball. Is this performance art? A social experiment? Or maybe it's the latest evolution of marketing, where the goal isn't actual dominance, but the illusion of winning, executed with maximum volume and zero self-awareness. Because who needs championships when you can just sound like the biggest star in the room?
They wonder why no one is supporting their secondary dump. They wonder why no one is watching pretend basketball. Maybe if they focused on the actual basketball instead of focusing on their weird utopian fantasies, maybe their dump would be upgraded to a polished turf.
Meanwhile, the ratings tell the real story. When it was time for viewers to tune in, they didn't. When the league had its chance to captivate an audience, people walked away instead. And yet, rather than confronting the uncomfortable truth, certain players, one in particular, are too busy flexing online, acting as if their personal brand somehow outweighs the game itself. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. When the numbers plummet, when fans lose interest, and when the league starts scrambling to justify its own existence, no amount of viral tweets or Instagram hype posts will change the reality. Hype only takes you so far before the truth catches up. So here we are. The league is struggling, ratings have hit rock bottom, and instead of leadership or accountability, we're drowning in self-promotion, cryptic social media posts, and endless reminders from someone convinced they're the main character in a story nobody seems interested in watching. Maybe, just maybe, it's time for a different approach. Less manufactured drama, more actual basketball, more skill, less spectacle. Because if the focus shifted to winning rather than attention-seeking, perhaps they wouldn't have to beg for ratings. Crazy concept, right?
Most people who know Caitlin Clark, we're just being honest, probably are not WNBA fans, but they know of her because of her greatness and the way that she just burst onto the scene and made such a powerful impact. And this goes for all over the world. I mean, her name truly has transcended the WNBA. And while I hate to keep bringing up the Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark drama, because it would be nice to just put that to bed, it must be noted that Angel Reese is playing for Unrivaled. Caitlin Clark is not. The numbers are not great.
Here we go again. The internet is in chaos because someone won an award, and suddenly we're being force-fed comparisons between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, as if a single trophy can somehow erase the years of skill, talent, and dedication each has poured into their basketball careers. Let's entertain this logic for a second. The argument seems to be that because Angel received an accolade, she must automatically be on Caitlin's level. A baffling leap in reasoning that ignores context, consistency, and actual impact on the game. Sure, if we just conveniently ignore everything, stats, shooting percentages, basketball IQ, overall impact on the game, and, oh yeah, reality itself. That's like claiming that winning a local karaoke contest makes you the next Beyoncé. Just because something happens doesn't automatically make it meaningful. Accolades without substance are just shiny participation trophies, no matter how loudly they're celebrated. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is out here rewriting the record books. She's dropping more points in a single game than some entire teams can muster, effortlessly draining half-court shots like she unlocked a secret cheat code. She's turning the WNBA into must-watch television. Angel, on the other hand, well, she's busy collecting rebounds and throwing side-eyes. But let's be real, effort doesn't equal elite skill. Spoiler alert, hustle is admirable, but last time I checked, scoring points wins games, not exaggerated reactions and questionable shot selection. Every time Angel Reese receives an award, her fans act like she single-handedly dethroned Caitlin Clark. But let's ask the real question. Why does the entire basketball world come to a standstill only when Caitlin is on the court? Angel's biggest headlines seem to stem from her latest social media antics rather than her actual performance in a game. Meanwhile, Caitlin is out here rewriting history, while Angel is just trending on Twitter. There's a difference between changing the game and simply being part of the conversation. One is shaping the future of basketball. The other is just accumulating trophies that don't quite tell the full story of talent, skill, and true impact.
Look, man, Indiana Fever will be opening up against the Chicago Sky. And for those that don't think that the Caitlin Clark and the Angel Reese, remember what the commissioner of the league said. There needs to be some type of back and forth. Why do you think they have Chicago first? One of the worst teams in the league. You have Chicago playing Indiana first. I wonder why. But last year when Caitlin Clark came...
It's important to acknowledge the ongoing debate surrounding Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, even if at times it feels completely misplaced. Perhaps Angels fans are simply searching for something, anything, to hold on to in the absence of a compelling argument. Deep down, some might recognize that beyond the media's carefully crafted narrative, Angel is seen as a solid role player who excels at keeping her name in the conversation. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark isn't just making noise, she's building a legacy. And the best part? Her impact doesn't need revisionist history or media spin to make it significant. It speaks for itself. The accolades Angel Reese collects don't suddenly elevate her to Caitlin Clark's level. One player dominates with undeniable talent, while the other leans on personality and bravado. Caitlin's impact is measured by jaw-dropping highlights and record-breaking stats. Angel's, more often than not, is measured by her trending moments on social media. A trophy here or there doesn't erase the clear and obvious gap between them. Recognition is one thing, true greatness is another. As debates continue to hype up this so-called rivalry and inflate minor achievements, Caitlin Clark stays locked in on cementing her legacy, while Angel Reese often makes headlines for everything but basketball. When it comes to determining true greatness, the answer isn't found in media narratives or social media buzz. It's in the facts. Caitlin Clark is a generational talent reshaping the sport, while Angel Reese's contributions, for all their noise, simply don't measure up when it comes to actual performance. So, as the discussions rage on, one thing remains undeniable. The scoreboard will always tell the real story, no matter how much fans try to spin it. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. More videos are on screen now.